Welcome to the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards.
The Outdoors Queensland Awards recognise and reward excellence in the outdoors sector.
They celebrate individuals, organisations, programs, events and activities that significantly improve outcomes for participants, clients and communities.
Outdoors Queensland is the peak body for the outdoors and outdoor activities. We are proud to deliver the Outdoors Queensland Awards, and we are committed to the ongoing success of the outdoor sector in Queensland. Welcome to the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards. My name is Mark Squires, I'm the Partnerships Manager at Outdoors Queensland, and I'm your MC for this evening. Outdoors Queensland respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands where we gather across the state tonight. We pay respect to elders, past, present and emerging, and we acknowledge the important role that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples play in the outdoor community. So, this is an awards evening with a difference, though thoroughly in keeping with the very different year that has been 2020. The first big difference for us is that tonight the show is being hosted by Outdoors Queensland, what was once QORF. We are very excited by our new look, and you will see many changes reflected in many places over the next few weeks. Secondly, we are very pleased to announce that the Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance is now our new sponsor for the Outdoors Queensland Awards. Now here's a short video about the AQIA and what they do.
Queenslanders love the outdoors, staying fit and keeping healthy. So it makes perfect sense that in Queensland, fitness, sport and active recreation provides an $18 billion social and economic benefit to the Sunshine State. The Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance supports these vital industries, together with their volunteer and paid workforce. This includes working with all levels of government and industry-specific bodies. We work closely with peak bodies, organisations, associations, employers and individuals to provide direct support, skills and training, and to ensure the workforce has the capability to manage the future delivery of fitness, sport and recreation in Queensland. We provide educational resources, strategic and financial planning, legal and HR advice, and assistance to get your organisation grant ready. With a mission to assist industry to achieve positive workforce development within the fitness, sport and recreation sectors in Queensland, we are ideally placed to help you and your organisation achieve its goals.
Okay, now before we get on with the more official part of the evening, let's just take a couple of minutes to say hi to each other. And a quick wave. And here we go, look at you. Wave to each other. Fantastic. Thanks, folks. I'm glad you're all here. Now, I need to tell you how things are going to work tonight with the award presentations. Firstly, about a week ago, we sent all the finalists a cardboard box with strict instructions that it was not to be opened until we say so. So that means not yet. Tonight there'll be 5 award presentations, separated, or rather 2 sets of 5 award presentations, separated by our guest speaker. For each award presentation, I will first announce the award, and then we will run a short video featuring the finalists of that award, during which time the finalists of that award can open their boxes. Then I announce the winner, and we cross to the winner's Zoom feed so they can say a few brief words and show off their trophies. So it's important that all finalists have their boxes at the ready and do not open them until the appropriate award finalist video is being played. So again, no peeking. Now please take photos and videos of yourselves, all the winners holding trophies, or the finalists with their framed certificates, so that you can share them with us afterwards. And you can also share them on Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag Outdoors Queensland Awards. And now I'd like to ask Alana Bold, the President of the Outdoors Queensland Board, to officially welcome you tonight and to launch the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards. Alana.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening and welcome. Well, 2020 has created an opportunity to do things a little bit differently. Although we are far from each other, we still remain united through our drive and our passion through the outdoors. We all have that favourite place in the outdoors that brings us a sense of well-being, whether it's for time out, to be challenged, to be active, to be outdoors and just spending time being alone with family or friends. Take a moment now to consider how that place or space was used by the traditional owners. And let us unite in respect and acknowledge those traditional landowners throughout Queensland. As the year slowly recovers here in Queensland, we're fortunate to have the freedom of being able to be in the outdoors. Who would have thought that freedom of being in the outdoors could be so volatile? Individuals and organisations have been striving to create a very real outcomes and successes through the outdoor industry. I believe that disruption has allowed for innovation. Outcomes have morphed, intense, and at times relaxed, but passions and ideas have continued to develop and flourish. We've seen an overwhelming desire by many just to be in the outdoors and active in the simplest of ways. We saw families flock to their local parks, Queenslanders were discovering new green spaces, bikes sold out, and we were all mostly outdoors and active. I'm proud to see our industry band together to offer support, connections, and knowledge to help us all through. I'd like to make special mention to Dom Courtney. Dom has tirelessly been on the front line during this past 8 months, coordinating and liaising our industry responses with government officials, our members, the management committee, and all other groups who had turned to CORF as the peak body for the outdoors in Queensland in their time of need. Thank you to the team that supported Dom and that continue to support Dom. Thank you to our management committee who continue to offer their time to drive the strategic direction as we complete our move to Outdoors Queensland. Thank you to Denise Cox, Andrew Boyle, or Critter, Murray Stewart, Ray Buchanan, Ross Barnes, and Peter Gould. We all want to see more people outdoors every day, and together we are all delivering what Outdoors Queensland is all about, and that is raising the profile of outdoor activities, developing capacity for outdoor activities, and increasing opportunities for Queenslanders to be active and outdoors. Thank you all for your contributions. Right from the commencement of these awards in 2002, both the Queensland Government and Brisbane City Council have been sponsoring these awards, and I'd like to thank them for their continued support and relationships. Other important guests to acknowledge this evening are our sponsors who provide the backing for us to hold this event. This year we welcome a new sponsor to our awards, the AQIA, the Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance. Welcome to Phil and the team. And we also welcome the Queensland Government, Brisbane City Council, K2 Base Camp and Nature Play Queensland. Thank you to all of our sponsors for your support and encouragement. We have joining us our guest speaker tonight, Eleanor Carey. And I'm looking forward to Eleanor's tales of triumph and challenges this evening. Welcome to all of our award finalists and nominees who are representing the outdoor sector of Queensland this evening. On behalf of the judging committee, thank you. There was a high level of nominees, which made the judging process a little bit difficult, but it did give us a chance to reflect on the wonderful, many diverse and fantastic achievements that we are seeing throughout our sector, which is what tonight's all about. So I'd like for you to sit back in your own space, enjoy a glass or two of your favourite drink, and soak in the many successes of our nominees. And I'd like to hand over now to a few pre-recorded messages from the Minister for Sport, Minister Mick de Brenny, and Shadow Minister Paul Langbrook. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Good evening. It is a pleasure to speak at this very special Outdoors Queensland Awards. I'm bringing you this message from my favourite outdoors place, the Daisy Hill Conservation Park. I've just announced $2 million into new trails and accessibility features here. And we're investing in places like this through programs like the National Parks Works and Jobs Boost program, which is placing the outdoors as a key component of Queensland's economic recovery plan. Now, before this year, I never would have predicted that we'd celebrate the outdoors online, but really, who could have predicted what 2020 had in store for us? For all Queenslanders, and of course the outdoors recreation sector, this has been a challenging year, to say the least. The pandemic has impacted all of us uniquely, but by working together, our strong health response has kept Queenslanders safe and allowed us to reopen. But better than that, Queenslanders took heed of the core messaging. Once it was safe to get back outdoors, Queenslanders have done it in droves. They say it takes around 66 days to form a habit, and we've been conscious of our health under COVID since we declared a public health emergency 275 days ago. And since then, we've never seen our community develop such a strong engagement with the outdoors. In some cases, it is becoming habitual. So that might explain why the waiting time to purchase a decent new mountain bike today is currently at least 4 months. That's if you're lucky. But seriously though, our response has allowed Australians who don't live in hotspot zones to enjoy Queensland's great outdoors. And truly, that has been a collaborative effort. To Dom and the Outdoors Queensland team, you have been an integral part of getting our recreation, sport and fitness sectors back, up and running, and through your representation on my advisory council, and as an integral member of the government's Return to Play advisory group. And this group has been the industry-led group that has managed the return to physical activity of all types, at all levels, in all places, from parks to pools, to trails to gyms, to stadiums and grand finals. Throughout all of that, the continual advocacy from Dom and the Outdoors Queensland team has helped recreation remain front and centre in our decision-making. And it has helped us to safely reopen following isolation. Now, Outdoors Queensland must be commended and take some real credit for the outcomes Queensland has achieved on COVID as a whole. It was you that led the messaging to the outdoors community to be responsible, to visit our parks in a way that meant that they stayed open. Now, there's every chance that Outdoors Queensland may have made all the difference for Queensland as a whole. We'll never be able to pinpoint it though, but it has certainly been part of the team effort, the Team Queensland effort. To all of you who adapted and did everything you could to keep your staff on, I want to acknowledge your efforts and simply say thank you. If the Palaszczuk government is returned tomorrow, I look forward to working with all of you to deliver our plan for Queensland's economic recovery. We have broken down old norms with our Activate Queensland strategy. We have started a shift in a system that really wasn't delivering for outdoors recreation, and we are only just getting started. We have set a course, and just as with COVID-19 and Queensland's economic recovery, if we're to get there, we must stay that course. To all tonight's award winners, can I say congratulations. It is remarkable what outdoors recreation providers have achieved this year, despite all of the challenges we have faced together. So to all of you, tonight can I simply say on behalf of all Queenslanders and those that visit our incredibly blessed state, thank you.
Hello, I'm John Paul Langbrook, Shadow Minister for Sport in the Queensland Parliament. Welcome to the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards. I'm outdoors now and it just makes you feel different when you're outdoors, and I know through this very difficult year, getting outside with outdoor activity has made a big difference to many Queenslanders. Of course, we can't all be together to celebrate, but that doesn't diminish in any way the contribution that all of you have made as nominees, and I want to congratulate you all for the work that you've done and wish all the best to you and the winners. Enjoy the awards, and I look forward to seeing you outdoors somewhere in Queensland.
Right, it's now time for the award presentations. Now, while we will only be able to present the finalists to you tonight, the Outdoors Queensland Board, as Alana mentioned earlier on, congratulates all nominees for their achievements and for their contributions to the outdoor community. The first award to be announced tonight is the K2 Base Camp Young Achiever Award, which recognises a young person for their commitment, their efforts and their contribution to the outdoors or their chosen outdoor activity. Congratulations to these two finalists.
The K2 Base Camp Young Achiever Award. Jacob Forker. Jacob Forker is a motivated, aspiring outdoor professional with a passion for climbing and hiking. At work, committed to best practice as defined by the Australian AAS, Jacob has developed new safety protocols and is an excellent role model to other staff members. He has started his own climbing and hiking blog to promote ethical behaviour, best practice and the responsible use of outdoor resources to the broader outdoor community. Kellyanne Drury. Kellyanne Drury is a Year 11 student at Logan Lee State High School. She is currently enrolled in the Certificate 2 in Outdoor Recreation. Kelly is committed to her studies, is exceeding her competency requirements and demonstrates leadership in the program. She has a passion for working in the outdoors and has showed a natural aptitude in leading and encouraging others in outdoor activity sessions.
And the winner of the K2 Basecamp Young Achiever Award is Kellyanne Drury. You're looking pretty excited there, Kellyanne. Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent. Kellyanne, the other bit of good news for you tonight is that K2 Basecamp, who sponsors this award, have a $300 voucher for you to spend at their store in the Valley. Daniel, who's the store manager, I think is on the show tonight somewhere, and he'll be in contact with you over the next few days. So something else to look forward to.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Well done. Excellent. Right, the second award to be presented tonight is the Brisbane City Council Outdoor Event Award. This award recognises the achievements of an individual or an organisation that has undertaken the development and management of a significant outdoor event in Queensland. So before we roll the video, just to remind you that finalists, you can open your boxes during this video. Congratulations to these finalists.
The Brisbane City Council Outdoor Event Award. Clint Eastwood Last One Standing. The Clint Eastwood Last One Standing event, organised by Alan Davies and AAA Racing and Coaching, is the epitome of mixing it up with the unusual and extremely challenging. It is unusual as each hour on the hour, all participants regroup on the start line to make a fresh start of the 6.7k loop. It is extremely challenging as the race only finishes if no one makes it back for another loop. This format means that many, with the encouragement and camaraderie of other competitors, often surpass their own goals and expectations, and may be the reason why the event is so popular. Shimano Mountain Bike Grand Prix. Rocky Trail Entertainment specialises in delivering competitive events for the amateur mountain bikers and cyclists. Queensland event managers Joe Parker and Bob Morris organised the first Shimano Mountain Bike Grand Prix endurance event at Daisy Hill in August 2020 for over 250 mountain bikers competing in both 4 and 7 hour cross-country races. The event included age group and e-bike categories, and despite changes being made to comply with the COVID-safe industry plan, the event was still a positive and inclusive experience for all racers. Urban Challenge. Urban Challenge is an annual weekend-long event run by the Rovers of Scouts Queensland since 2003. Venturer Scouts, 15 to 17 years of age, work in teams using their orienteering skills to navigate from base to base throughout the Greater Brisbane area. The teams are given clues on the location of the bases. They can use any available means of transport and can score additional points by completing challenges such as pioneering and team-based activities at each base. The Urban Challenge is designed to encourage young people to achieve their potential as individuals, responsible citizens, and members of their communities.
And the winner of the Brisbane City Council Outdoor Event Award is AAA Racing and Coaching for the Clint Eastwood Last Man Standing event. Alan, is that you there? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Look, it's been a very, very strange year for everybody. You know, we started when the restrictions came in March and decided a lot of events got suspended and postponed and all dropped into this time now, October, November, and really congested the calendar. And we thought, well, we'll cancel events we have to, but we'll, as the government has said, play month by month. And that's what we've done. And the first event we put back on was July 4th with a new event we had, and set people off in groups of less than 20 as per the restrictions that were in place. And the Clint Eastwood was the first event that we actually put on as per schedule. The field was cut by half. We still had over 100 people in it, but because most of the field was interstate and couldn't travel. But you know, the whole is like the recognition of this is as much a recognition of the event and the nature of it. The guys who were the first finishers, if you like, even though everybody loses bar one. The difference between the first person to finish and the last person to finish was a full 35 hours, you know, and they start on equal terms every hour, and everybody just has the opportunity to just give it a try, you know. We've had some visually impaired people running, and some we've had some quadriplegic.
It certainly sounds like a great event, Alan. I must come along and check it out. Listen, thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Very surprising honour. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers. Thanks, Alan. The Nature Play Education Award, sponsored by Nature Play Queensland, is for educational services or institutions, such as schools or childcare centres, that have increased the time kids spend in outdoor learning, forest school or unstructured play. Congratulations to these finalists.
The Nature Play Education Award. Berrinba East State School. The Berrinba East State School, based in Logan Central, provides primary education for 450 students. To address issues such as low attendance and behaviour, and with the vision of bringing back childhood, the school has embedded nature play principles in 3 aspects: unstructured play during breaks, re-engaging and motivating students, and encouraging staff to use nature play within their lesson planning. The school was recognised by the Courier Mail for their adaptability in providing COVID-19 safe learning environments through nature play and outdoor learning. Clearview Early Learning and Bush Kindy. Clearview Early Learning and Bush Kindy is a family-owned centre located in semi-rural grounds in Nerang on the Gold Coast. All children aged 18 months to 5 years participate in an off-site Bush Kindy program twice a week. All children under the age of 2 have a strong focus on nature play in their rooms and playgrounds. The centre has 2 qualified forest school leaders, and all other staff members have attended a one-day workshop on nature play. As a Nature Play Queensland provider, Clearview has presented nature play workshops on the benefits of nature and risky play. Wildlings Forest School. Children's rights advocates and adventure, risky and nature playmakers, Wildlings Forest School put the dirt back in childhood. Wildlings aims to get more children outdoors connecting with nature, creating the village parents are yearning for, and inspiring change in the education system. During any Wildlings program, you are likely to find kids up trees, sliding down mudslides, whittling with pocket knives, lighting fires and building rafts. Wildlings let kids be kids because children can't learn to protect nature if they've never had a childhood in nature. Goodna Special School. All students at the Goodna Special School have a verified intellectual disability, many with other complex needs that affect their learning ability. The 90-minute forest school sessions, led by Kathy Turrell, are held in the last remaining section of bushland at the school and use natural occurring elements in conjunction with tools, loose parts and role-play resources. Motivating learning experiences all start and finish in a yarning circle and include shelter building, tree climbing, obstacle courses, swings and sensory play in the mud.
And the winner of the Nature Play Queensland Nature Play Education Award is the Wildlings Forest School. There we go. How you doing, girls? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, we want to say thanks to all the other finalists in this award. There's some just fantastic centres and businesses doing really great things.
Yeah.
And to Nature Play Queensland for sponsoring the award, but also for being there whenever we've needed to pick up the phone.
and to all our amazing staff who are just doing fantastic things and making sure that children's voices are heard and encouraging, just a new way of talking to children and making sure that we treat them the way that they're meant to be treated outside.
Fantastic. Yes, it's never a two-person effort, is it? There's always lots of people in the background helping out.
Oh, so many. We couldn't do it without our just incredible team.
Fantastic. Well, well done and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay, so the fourth award this evening is the Outdoors Queensland Government Achievement Award, which recognises the achievements of local or state government departments and or agencies that have produced positive outcomes for the outdoor sector. Don't forget, you can open your boxes now, finalists. Congratulations to all these finalists.
The Outdoors Queensland Government Achievement Award. Gympie Regional Council. As part of its Tracks and Trails plan, Gympie Regional Council has created the River to Rail Trail, a unique outdoor recreational experience that enables residents and visitors to connect with the Mary River and its tributaries in the heart of Gympie. Community members and impacted user groups were given opportunities to submit feedback on the 9.3 kilometre trail, which utilises newly formed gravel paths, concrete walkways and sections of the existing walk and cycle network. The different access points to the trail allow for a variety of experiences, and it appeals to users of any age, fitness level and skill set. Department of Environment and Science. Queensland is a highly attractive, nature-based tourism destination. Recognising there was potential for a significant increase in domestic bookings, the Life's Best Moments campaign was devised by the Department of Environment and Science to raise awareness of Queensland national parks and the range of active experiences visitors can enjoy, such as bushwalking, mountain biking, camping and canoeing. The campaign was rebranded as Think Outside following the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, with a greater focus on healthy outdoor activity and mental well-being. Queensland Recreation Centres. Queensland Recreation Centres provide safe and challenging outdoor recreation experiences which are delivered by the Program Delivery Team, fully trained and accredited instructors utilising high standard facilities and equipment. The team delivers safe, ethical and memorable adventures for participants. They are also responsible for developing the appropriate activity guidelines and training manuals. Unable to deliver activity programs during the COVID-19 shutdown, the Program Delivery Team undertook a complete review of the existing risk management framework and created new and improved documentation.
And the winner of the Outdoors Queensland Government Achievement Award is the Gympie Regional Council. And somebody's there from the council. How are you doing? Good evening.
We're very happy. It's excellent that we won. It's certainly a very popular trail for Gympie people and people from outside of Gympie. I guess last weekend I run the 8.8 kilometre loop sometimes. The last weekend I ran the loop and I lost count of how many people were walking along the river and along Deep Creek. So it's really popular. And in fact, just last couple of days, someone set up a Facebook page for photographs from the trail when people walk along the river. So the community's got really behind it.
Fantastic. Yeah, I get up to Gympie quite often. I've often sort of looked down off the bridge and seen the trail there and thought I must get out there one day and actually give it a go. So thank you for that and well done.
Thank you.
So the last award in this segment is the Queensland Government Encouraging Participation Award. Nominees for this award include organisations or individuals who have facilitated increased participation in outdoor recreation for either the general population or specific client groups. So congratulations to these finalists.
The Queensland Government Encouraging Participation Award. 2 Bent Rods. Since 2004, 2 Bent Rods has been delivering fishing classes and providing affordable, positive, family-focused outdoor experiences for children and their families, school groups and seniors. 2 Bent Rods was created when founder Samantha Beckman, on holiday with her family, was surprised that many kids who live close to the water didn't know much about marine life and fishing. Partnerships like these with local and state government promote sustainable fishing and management of invasive pest fish species in public parks and reserves. Arcadia Agile Learning Centre. Arcadia Agile Learning Centre, the brainchild of Nicole Goring, is an alternative education learning centre flexi school with programs built around the learning centre, forest school and forest playgroups. It provides children with the best chance to actively seek and engage in the joy of learning, facilitated through play, the natural way children absorb and process information and new skills. Days at the centre can be messy, with children engaging in science experiments, outdoor play, loose parts play, nature craft, sensory play and art projects too. Nature Freedom. Matthew Townsend founded Nature Freedom in 2017 to deliver inclusive and accessible outdoor recreational activities for young people with disabilities and mental health issues. The challenges faced by people with a disability due to lack of understanding from many businesses and organisations are alleviated through the lived outdoor experiences of participants on a Nature Freedom program. Different to other disability activity providers, participants are included and can choose what they want to do, inclusion being a key brand feature of Nature Freedom.
And the winner of the Queensland Government Encouraging Participation Award is Nature Freedom. Big smile there, Matthew. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words to us, Matthew?
Yeah, it's been a really long time since I founded this. I'd really say thank you for all of you and people who's really support Nature Freedom for the last few years. It's a really long journey to get where we are now, and it's really good to deserve to be recognised. That's something about being different, and that really helped everybody doing the same way. Because like I see all the videos and people other finally and doing a similar thing. Like I saw a little boy in a wheelchair. Oh, it blows me up, and it's amazing to see people with disability get out in nature and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It's so much opportunity and it's so much potential out there to unlock something means something. So it's really amazing to look out for the environment at the same time as the social impact. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew, and congratulations once again. Now, before I introduce our guest speaker, we just need to apologise. A few minutes ago, we ran the wrong set of finalist videos for the Nature Play Education Award, and we apologise for that. What we will do after our guest speaker is we'll go back and rerun the correct finalist videos for that award. All right? So apologies. You will get to see them, but just not quite yet. Right, it's now time to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Eleanor Carey is a world record-holding adventurer and entrepreneur with stories to tell about rowing the Pacific Ocean and cycling across Europe. After training as a physiotherapist, she co-founded and ran the Generator Innovation Hub, which she successfully sold in 2019. As a startup catalyst mission leader, she has accompanied startups and investors to Silicon Valley in London. She is the adventurer in residence at QUT and shares her experiences of adventure and entrepreneurship, the good, the bad and the ugly, with schools and organisations. Now, if you have any questions for Eleanor that occur to you throughout her presentation, please write them in the chat and we will select a couple to ask her at the end of her presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eleanor Carey. Eleanor.
G'day everybody, thanks so much Mark, and look, it's absolutely amazing to be here with you all this evening, and I was having a Google of everybody today who was nominated, and I'm just absolutely humbled and amazed by all the amazing things that you're all doing as well, so congratulations to all of you for all the fantastic things you're doing. So yeah, my name is Eleanor Carey and I am an adventurer. So the presentation that I'm going to give to you tonight is Why Row an Ocean? after having spent 62 days crossing the Pacific Ocean back in 2018. This is one of the questions that I get asked the most, and to be honest, it's still a little bit difficult to answer. But in order to even try and answer it, I'm going to take you back just a few steps before when I was actually rowing the ocean. So I was not an adventurous kid, let me tell you that. So I grew up in Stanthorpe, a little town 2.5 hours just southwest of here, and I was more happy spending time in front of the TV eating tiny teddies than I was, to be able to get outside and get outdoors. My older sister, Katrina, so she's 7 years older than me, she was always trying to convince me to go outside and ride bikes with her, and I was always more happy in front of the TV. So if you thought by my background that maybe I was always adventurous, that could not be further from the truth. So I studied at school. I was always really well behaved. I followed every single rule. I got good grades, and I was following, I guess, what you would call the right life path, the path that you're sort of expected to take. And I thought that I was doing all the right things to have a happy, successful, fulfilled life. And after I graduated from university, I'd gone out into the workforce. I'd worked for a few years, and I just remember waking up and thinking, is this all there is? That we're just waking up and we go into work and we do this groundhog thing every single day. And I'd only been out of uni for a couple of years, and I'm looking forward to the rest of my life, going, surely there's got to be more to life than this. So in order to try and change it up a bit, I moved overseas to the UK, thinking that an international, change of scenery might be something to do it. But the same thing happened there again. I remember as I was walking into the hospital, it was this big brown building, just surrounded by these hordes of people walking in. And, people would be saying, oh, it's Tuesday today, nearly Wednesday. And then it would be, oh, it's Wednesday today, nearly Thursday. There was this perpetual countdown to the weekend that I thought, why are we all just walking in here and everybody's wishing their lives away, just wishing for the weekend, wishing for another time instead of actually getting to enjoy today? So as I was sort of contemplating my, career choices and my life choices, something changed when I picked up this book. This book was called Cycling Home from Siberia, and it was about this guy, Rob Lilwall, who he jumped on a flight all the way to Siberia, to Magadan, with his bicycle. Now, this isn't a picture of Rob Lilwall, but, he spoke in this book of cycling through Siberia and getting these snot icicles. And he was with his friend Alistair Humphreys, and, they had to be really careful when they were cycling across across the cold, not to sweat too much, because if they sweat too much, the ice would actually freeze in a layer against their skin. That's how cold it was. And I remember reading this book and having this overwhelming feeling of, why hasn't anybody told me this before? Nobody sat me down at school and said, hey, Eleanor, did you know that you're allowed to fly halfway around the world and cross back via human power? That you're allowed to walk across a continent or cycle across a continent? And just reading this book, I read it back to back in a day without putting it down. And it changed everything, because I saw what might be possible. I saw these beautiful days of being able to live outdoors. Not that I'd ever lived a life like that before. But then I sort of got shocked back to reality and remembering, oh, well, you've got to make money and you've got this job. And so it took about a year of dabbling with this little idea in my mind of maybe I might try and cycle somewhere. And at first it was just, maybe I might cycle across England. Which might have taken 10 days, maybe 20 days, considering my fitness at the time. But then I started looking at a map and I saw that France was right there, and then the Netherlands was right there and I'd never been to the Netherlands, and Belgium was right there and I'd never been to Belgium. And then it extended and extended and extended, and then all of a sudden I'd booked this one-way flight to Europe, with my bike booked on the flight as well. And as soon as the email hit my inbox, the very first thing that I did, I cried. I cried because I had no idea what I had gotten myself in for. I cried because, I'm pale, I'm ginger, I get sunburnt sitting under trees. I had never camped alone. I'd never cycled more than about 15 kilometres before in my life, and I was going to try and cycle all the way from Norway back to England. So I was petrified of this decision that I'd made, and I thought about just cancelling the flight. Nobody would ever know that I'd even thought about it. But the thing that made me at least just keep thinking about it a little bit longer, the thing that made me keep the idea alive was this. So I'd worked with a lot of elderly people in the hospitals. And when I thought about myself in the future, when I was 95 years old in a nursing home, even if I flew to Norway and let's say I cycled for a day or two, and if I failed, if I hated it, if it was the worst thing that I'd ever done, and I got a taxi back to the airport, I knew in my heart that when I was 95 years old in a nursing home, that I would at least be glad that I had tried, that I would at least have gone to find out if maybe this crazy adventure world might be something that I might be into. So I flew out to Norway. I had to rebuild my bicycle under, this staircase in an airport. I put the front wheel on back to front. The first night I got taken in by a service station attendant because she knew that I was just so out of control, had no idea what I was doing, that she literally put my bike in the back of the service station and locked it up and took me back to her house to be looked after for the evening before I went back to my bike to keep going the next day. So look, I guess it's safe to say that on that very first day, when I booked the flight, when I got to Norway, I was not somebody who was capable of cycling across Europe. But what I did do was I showed up the next day and I put my butt back on the bike again and I turned those pedals as many times as I could. And then I woke up the next day and I did the same thing again. And it blew me away, the very first border crossing that I managed to get to, which was between Norway and Sweden. And look, I was just as surprised as anybody that was even possible. So it took about 55 days, but I managed to get all the way back to England and cycle all the way back into my back gate. And having never ever thought that I would be somebody who would be capable of doing this, gone from never camped before, never cycled long distance before, to completing a 3,000 kilometre journey. And I sort of had this feeling that, oh, well, if I can have a go at something like this, then surely anybody can have a go at something like this. I also went on this journey trying to figure out this problem, which was my career. I felt like I'd landed sort of in the wrong spot as such. And I really wanted that journey to give me the magic answer of what it was that I was supposed to do next. It didn't arrive immediately. It did eventually arrive. But, fast forward about 3 years after the cycle trip happened, I had started a new business, which would never have happened if I hadn't cycled across Europe, if I hadn't learnt to just show up and try things each day. And then I'd had that business for maybe about a year before I opened Netflix one day. It was a Sunday afternoon, and the documentary was called Losing Sight of Shore. It's about 4 British women who rowed the entire way across the Pacific Ocean. So they went from California to Hawaii, Hawaii to Samoa, and Samoa all the way into Cairns. And I looked at these incredible women who spent, 9 months at sea. It looked like the most awful thing you could want to do, but at the same time, the most amazing thing you could want to do. So something that I'd learnt, I guess, from the first time around, the first time it took a year before I took any action on this cycling whim that was in my head. This time I sent the email immediately after the credits rolled. I started Googling ocean rowing teams and I found one. I emailed them and said, "Hi, it's Eleanor. I'd really like to join your ocean rowing crew. Please let me join. Bye." And sent it before I freaked out too much that I retracted it basically. And I got an email back from the crew. They said, "Eleanor, thank you. We'll put you on the reserve list, but our crew's full for now." And perhaps stupidly, I actually didn't believe them because I thought that they were just rejecting me really kindly because I had never done anything in the ocean before. I grew up in inland Queensland. There was nothing in my list of qualifications apart from this random cycling trip that qualified me to row across an ocean, which takes an incredible amount of preparation as well. So I got the email back and I completely forgot about it. That was until 6 weeks before the crew was supposed to be in California, and their 3rd crew member dropped out. So I got this email, it was 11:30 at night on a Friday night, it was actually Good Friday, and I received this email and they said, "Our 3rd crew member's dropped out, are you still willing to join? Would you consider joining us?" And my heart beat out of my chest, I felt sick, I was sweating because I knew that I had to join them. I had no idea how any of the logistics was going to happen. I had no idea if I was even capable. But in 6 weeks, I did go and meet them out in California. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of ocean rowing, if you've never heard of it before, it's a very obscure sport, so I don't blame you if you've never even heard of it. But here's a little video of, so we've got a documentary called Why Row an Ocean, so by the same name. And just to give you a little taste of what ocean rowing is like, here's the video. It's just incredible what your body and mind are capable of, though, when you put it in those situations.
It was almost as if we just rode into a different part of the world.
I will remember it absolutely for the rest of my life.
So there you go. That's, you know, you can see a little picture of the boat there. So this boat was 7 meters long by about 1.5 meters wide, and you can even see on the still image that's still up that the side of the boat's about 30 centimeters off the water. So this boat is incredibly, incredibly small. And one of the very first things, I guess, that happened when I got out to California was I got in the boat and rowed it for the very first time. And it's one of the funny things about ocean rowing, and it's one of my most loved things about the sport, is really people have never actually been in these ocean rowing boats before they actually head out to really try and do this stuff, before they've done a bit of training beforehand. So it's not uncommon for situations like this to happen. To give you an idea of a little bit of the conditions, we rode straight out of Monterey Bay into a big storm. And we'll just cue up this next video now. But yeah, what you can see on your screen, so this isn't actually our crew. This is a crew that rode the Indian Ocean. They were out there at the exact same time as us. But to give you a little idea of what the conditions are like when you're in big swell in a tiny ocean rowing boat like this, you can see how close the sides of the boat are. They're even going under on the side. They've ditched their oars, and you can see on the side those really solid looking safety rails that are basically like a piece of ribbon. That's what you're holding onto when you're in this big swell. So they've had one wave there, right? And then just as you've done one and you're trying to get yourself back together again, here's the second one, and it backs up right behind. This one decides to brake on you a little bit. And every single wave that passes over the boat, under the boat, you wonder if that's going to be the boat that, you know, that it flips you over, that, you know, maybe you won't come back around from. So it was signing up for this journey with 6 weeks notice, knowing that there was such risk involved, knowing that there was a chance that maybe we actually wouldn't come back from this. So it was a difficult decision. I cried a lot in the lead up. I cried a lot when I was in the water as well. I think even for the first 3 or 4 days, I basically didn't stop crying because I was so petrified all of the time. I remember having these you know, views of adventurers, I guess, before I did the cycling trip, before I did the rowing trip, that I always thought that adventurers were like Bear Grylls, and that there were these big, burly, strong guys who were, you know, always totally emotionally stable. And that, you know, that's what you had to be in order to be an adventurer. So we'll just, go back to the slide deck as well. So, you know, so that was always a view that I had of you know, what it took to be an adventurer, was that you had to be perfectly emotionally stable, that you weren't allowed to cry, you weren't allowed to be afraid. And it could not have been further from the truth. So this is our crew. This is Kaz and Meg, who are next to me in the boat there. I think this is about halfway through the journey, judging by the fact that we're not wearing huge layers of clothing. But so yeah, at the beginning it was freezing cold. Every single wave that came over the boat, it felt like doing the ice bucket challenge. And at the beginning we were so seasick as well. Kaz and Meg, another little, you know, tidbit, I guess, in terms of the lead up and just how underprepared I was for this journey. Kaz and Meg had been instructed to put on 10 to 15 kilos of weight each in order to deal with the, you know, the difficulty of being at sea, because it's really hard to get the amount of nutrition in to sustain yourself out there. In contrast, like I said before, so I was running this business. I was having a really difficult time. I was having, you know, probably too many glasses of wine at the end of the day, going through the KFC drive-through a little too frequently, you could say. And I was very much, you know, using food as a bit of a crutch to emotionally manage the business, I suppose, which is not what I would recommend, by the way. So in contrast to Kaz and Meg, who had put on 10 to 15 kilos, I was accidentally just that amount overweight. And when I was doing media interviews in the lead up, I would pretend that, I have also prepared in the same way and I've also put on the weight, but that was a complete lie, basically. When we were out there, so we were out there for 62 days, I was 80 kilos when I started, and when we got to land, I was 64 kilos. So we lost an enormous, enormous amount of weight. Which is equivalent to about 1/4 of a kilo a day that was just melting away. I was vomiting all the time for the first 17 days, and I was keeping a record of the amount of calories that I'd eaten. And up until day 12, I think I'd eaten about 1,500 calories, which would be a light day for any, regular adult for a single day that was in about 2 weeks. So it got to that far into the journey, and I didn't have a lot left in my system. I didn't know if it would be possible to make it through to the end. And I'm so, so grateful to Kaz and Meg for their support through that time, both in terms of their incredible preparation in the lead up, but also through getting me through, emotionally and physically through that time, because it was really tough. The other part of ocean rowing that, you often don't know about, or that you wouldn't know about if you don't know a lot about it, is you're on these shift patterns. So this was our shift pattern for one day. And then not only was it one day, but this was every single day of the journey for 62 days. So from 8:30 to 11:30 in the morning, I would row. 11:30 to 2:30, I'd be off. You'd try and cook some lunch. We always said we deserved danger money for trying to pour like boiling water out of the jet boil while your boat's pitching 20 feet up and down in the air. Row again from 2:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon, have 3 hours off, 3 hours on again until 11:30 at night, and then the worst shift of all, the graveyard shift, which was from 2:30 in the morning to 5:30 in the morning. And let me tell you, when it's dark and it's wet and it's cold and there are enormous storms outside, the size of waves that you've never seen before, that I'd never seen before in my life, it is the last place that you want to be, is out on the deck trying to row a boat, going about 2 knots an hour to this. Hawaii was our destination, about 2,500 nautical miles away. And, that was certainly testing and trying as well, just in terms of the consistency of having to show up to those shifts so regularly when all you want is to sleep in, when all you want is to be able to get off the boat and go for a walk, when all you want is to be able to go out to a restaurant or something like that, and you just don't have any of the regular coping mechanisms available to you that we have on land. So there was an enormous, enormous learning curve there. And also in terms of, being on the off shift, for example, so from 11:30 till 2:30, this is actually what it looked like. If you thought that we got 3 hours of solid sleep, even in that 3 hours where you could be trying to sleep, you get woken up 2 to 3 times, and that's not even including the AIS alarm as well. So even in the off shifts, it was incredibly, there was a lot of stuff to do to be able to keep the boat sort of functioning and rolling on. For, those of you, this is a question that often gets dropped in the comments, so I'll actually just answer it now for you up front, and that is, how did we go to the toilet? All being adventurous people, I'm sure that everybody's probably pretty comfortable with talking about this stuff, perhaps. But you can see down on my left-hand side, there's a bucket. So that was what the toilet was. It was tied on with a rope. And basically, one of the other most difficult parts of the journey, apart from the seasickness, apart from the ridiculous rowing shifts, the part that I was actually the most scared of in the lead up was having to go to the toilet 1.5 meters away from somebody that's looking you directly in the eyes. It's a very, very confronting experience. And at first I just thought, I'm just not going to go to the bathroom for 2 months and it's going to be fine. But of course you can't last that long. So, sometime in the first day we all got very friendly, I guess you could say. So this was our ultimate track. And so it was 5,000 kilometres in the end. We were out there for 62 days, 18 hours and 36 minutes was the time that we actually finished the race in. And we did manage to set 2 world records while we were out there. So we were the youngest crew of 3 to row any ocean in the world, and the first crew of 3, male or female, to row the Pacific Ocean. And a little fun fact we just found out in the last month or so, they're actually in the Guinness Book of Records for 2021, although our journey was back in 2018. So, if you've set a world record lately, don't hold out hope that you're not going to be in the book, because it can take a little while. So yeah, that's a little bit of, something fun that's been a reward, I guess, a fair way down the track. Not that that's what we did it for. So there were 3 key phases, as I sort of, bring us towards the end. The first one is really just the shock, horror, and pain. The first 3 weeks, they were so difficult, so much vomiting, so, getting used to the shift pattern. The second phase, which was another sort of 3 weeks, was all of the assimilation and processing. We slowly got used to living on the boat and being on the boat. And then the most beautiful thing happened in the last third of the trip. And that was my brain got to inbox 0, which is basically when you're out there at sea and you don't have any of the regular inputs coming in, you don't have the internet, you don't have work, you don't have friends and family there around you all the time. It actually allowed me to get to a point where I felt like I could figure out who I was, what I wanted, all of these things without the influence of anyone else or anything else around me. And I spent about the next 2 months when I got back to land just trying to hold on to this feeling and keep this feeling. And I wanted to bottle it. I wanted to be able to give it out to people. And it took me a little while to figure out that there actually is a pill for this. There actually is a way that you can get to inbox 0, that you can maintain this really special, beautiful place in your mind. And it's actually called the micro-adventure. So a lot of you have probably already heard of it. So it was, coined by Alastair Humphreys, a brilliant UK adventurer. But the row and the area in my brain, I guess, that I got to find and experience out there is something that I feel so strongly about trying to share with other people. And so I've recently started a company called Voxer. And so we run micro adventures for people. So I'll only spend another little minute, and then I think we're going to have time for a few questions if you want to start dropping them in the chat. So the method is the micro adventure, so short, accessible overnight adventures for people close to your own home. The why is to give people the easy mental clarity, increase their creativity, improve their happiness in a really accessible way, get them used to the outdoors. The how is helping people through an online platform, informational sessions, keynotes, and for who, it's targeted towards people that have really never spent any time in the outdoors before, people who think that adventure isn't for them, people who think that they're on the fringes or that they could never go and do something like this. And definitely, having a fair bit of interest from women as well who can feel quite unsafe in the outdoors sometimes, and I know I experienced that myself. So that's a little bit about the company, I guess, and it really did come off the back of the row and the cycle, trying to, help other people find these, special areas within your own mind, that it is possible to find it close to your own home. You don't have to go and row an ocean to be able to find that special sort of area. So why row an ocean? I guess to sum up, why row an ocean? You actually don't have to. Why row an ocean? The answer is I probably wouldn't. I would probably go and just go camping in your backyard as well, because it was pretty bloody awful, if I'm totally honest. So if I haven't sold it to you, that really wasn't the goal, was not actually to sell it to you. So yeah, thank you so much. Awesome to get to meet some of you online tonight. Here's my contact details, and I would adore to meet some of you for a Zoom coffee or even a real life coffee. So
excellent. Well, thank you, Eleanor. That was a great story and some good advice, maybe. I'm not sure. When I first heard of your story, I knew that it was going to be a good story, and I knew we had to get you on the show tonight. So thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Now, listen, we did have a couple of questions. And the first one is kind of wordy, but it's about resilience. Yeah. So it's been described as the capacity to bounce back from adversity, but the capacity to bounce forward or move forward. So what have you learned about resilience during your adventures?
Yeah, so I think that, building resilience is a really big reason why I actually embarked on these adventures. And for me, it was very much about if I can put myself into these situations and learn some coping strategies when I guess I'm in control, when I'm choosing to put myself into that environment, then when I'm in, situations down the track that are actually out of my control and stressful situations out of my control, I'll be able to build a bigger reserve for myself to be able to draw on. And yeah, I think that's exactly that bounce back, that you're speaking of. If you've got that reserve to be able to draw on, the places it can catapult you to down the track when it's unexpected is definitely worth all of the pain.
Right, excellent. Thank you. Another question. Now, your big adventures or your maxi adventures are amazing, and you've told us some great stories tonight. But could you tell us what is your favourite micro adventure?
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, my favourite one is probably actually the one that went the very worst of all. We bought these $20, the kids, little inflatable boats from Target or Kmart or something. We decided to cross the river just north of Bundy to go and camp on the beach on the other side. But we left, it was after Origin, it was raining, it was like 10:30 at night, and we failed to notice that there was a boat ramp just down the way a little bit, and we spent an hour and a half trying to walk through like oyster shells, and we all had bleeding feet, and it was terrible. And then we went back, we actually abandoned it, went back the next day to realise that the boat ramp was right there and had to redo it. So to me, sometimes the ones that go really awry are kind of the best ones of all.
Sounds like there are a few lemons lining up there.
Yeah,
in terms of,
a lot of lemons. Yeah.
Excellent. And last question: what is the question that you are most commonly asked about doing these adventures?
So the most common one about the row, if I don't say it in the talk, is often about the toileting, if I'm totally honest. So that's why I sort of did that one up front. The most common ones, are definitely just, that question of why, particularly for people if they aren't adventurously inclined. My elder sister, for example, thinks that I'm the most bonkers, crazy person in the world and thinks that I'm relatively silly even for embarking on this kind of thing. And there's just logistical questions about the rows, so...
Excellent.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was a great presentation from Eleanor, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. The next award for tonight is the Queensland Government Nature Play Community Award. The nominees for this award include communities, organisations or individuals that have developed initiatives to increase the time that kids spend in unstructured play outdoors in nature. Congratulations to these two finalists.
The Queensland Government Nature Play Community Award. Birdwings Forest School. Birdwings Forest School is an innovative and unique place for natural connection, a mobile outdoor program in the Gold Coast hinterland. Run by two artists, storytellers and experienced nature play facilitators, Birdwings offers a safe space to experience the simple rhythms of nature and the joy of creative expression. Children get to know themselves and develop confidence and strategies for self-management through nature exploration, shared learning and outdoor play. Birdwings has also developed a range of resources for teachers and parents to encourage nature play experiences and learning opportunities at school and at home. Oxley Creek Transformation. The Oxley Creek Transformation Project by the Brisbane City Council aims to revitalise the Oxley Creek corridor from the Brisbane River at Tennyson to Larapinta into a world-class green, lifestyle and leisure destination. Early community consultation saw strong support for creating locations within the corridor that could provide nature-based adventure experiences for children, outdoor recreation spaces and areas of natural vegetation. The shape and arrangement of new infrastructure on previously damaged areas within the site protects the existing endangered remnant bushland.
And the winner of the Queensland Government Nature Play Community Award is the Birdwings Forest School. So, Jennifer, is that you there? Can you unmute yourself? I think you're still on mute.
Yes,
Hey,
we are. We're thrilled.
Fantastic, fantastic. So yes, anything you'd like to say to us or to the world?
Yes, we would love to.
Fantastic.
We would like to thank our staff, our children, our families. We get so inspired by our children and their abilities. We would like to thank Julie and Alan Frost, who host us at their property. We would like to thank Justine from Narringwal Aboriginal Cooperation. It's really, really important work that we're doing, and to be recognised for that work to get children outdoors in wild nature is amazing. Our ecological projects that we do, we're so proud of those as well, and what we do with the children and those projects. We're just very thankful after 4 years of being finalists that we're now a winner. And we'd like to congratulate the other people who were in the award as well.
I'd really like to thank all our colleagues who are in this, it's not an industry, I don't know, this inspirational working alongside of us. There are so many Bush Kindy programs going now. There are so many nature play programs going now, and we are all inspiring each other. And it's so beautiful to have this community together.
Fantastic. Yeah, we hear lots of good stories about what's going on out there, and it's well done. Okay, well, thank you, Jennifer and colleagues, and well done.
Thank you.
So, nominees for the Queensland Government Outdoor Places and Spaces Award will have developed one or more outstanding facilities or venues that substantially increase opportunities for outdoor recreation activities. Congratulations to these finalists.
The Queensland Government Award for Outdoor Places and Spaces. North Brisbane Dirt Dogs. The North Brisbane Dirt Dogs recently completed construction of a 6-kilometre purpose-built mountain bike trail to complement the existing 20 kilometres of trail located at Sanford Conservation Park. Demonstrating industry best practice in consultation with the riding community, traditional owners and land managers, club volunteers applied for and received $35,000 of funding to build the new trail. The club has a track record of working with partners to provide opportunities for community participation in mountain bike riding. Their focus is not on racing or competition, but trail advocacy and development of places for people to ride. Oxley Creek Transformation Project. The Oxley Creek Transformation Project by the Brisbane City Council aims to revitalise the Oxley Creek corridor from Tennyson to Larapinta into a world-class green lifestyle and leisure destination. Community consultation supported the creation of locations within the corridor to provide nature-based adventure experiences for children, outdoor recreation spaces, and areas of natural vegetation. The shape and arrangement of new infrastructure on previously damaged areas within the site protects the existing endangered remnant bushland, and the picnic areas, amenities, and a range of play facilities within the new parkland have been designed to accommodate people of all abilities.
And the winner of the Queensland Government Outdoor Places and Spaces Award is the Brisbane City Council for the Oxley Creek Transformation Project. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Our pleasure. Well done.
This is fantastic. The parkland that you saw the images of is Worrell Parkland, right down the bottom end of the Oxley Creek Transformation Corridor. Mm-hmm. It was opened on the 24th of July this year after a couple of years gestation. I'd just like to thank Brisbane City Council for developing the initiative of the Oxley Creek Transformation Project. We worked closely with the Yuggera people in developing the Parklands, I suppose, discovery program, as well as our online junior ranger program. And we had a fantastic consultant team and construction team working with us on the job. I'd also like to say thank you very much to Nature Play Queensland. The Oxley Creek Transformation team were novices around the idea of nature play and a nature-based adventure parkland. And your website and your face-to-face catch-ups that we had over the last few years have set us on the journey to deliver a fantastic parkland outcome. I'm pleased to say that since the parkland opened, its popularity has exceeded our expectations by far. This is an area of Oxley Creek, which has a lot of new housing developments in it, very small backyard sizes, and this this place has become embraced by the local community. Kids there all the time, switching off, getting back to nature. It's been so wonderful to see it come to fruition. So watch this space for our next parkland outcome in the transformation corridor.
Fantastic. Well done, and thanks very much. And I've got to say, your comments there about Nature Play Queensland had our Nature Play staff here tonight punching the air with satisfaction. So thank you very much for that too. So the next award is the Brisbane City Council Outstanding Achievement Award for an organisation. And it's for organisations and other enterprises that have made a valuable contribution to the outdoor community and can be characterised by professionalism, high standards of conduct, dedication to best practice. Congratulations to the finalists.
The Brisbane City Council Award for Outstanding Achievement Organisation. Higher Ground. As an experiential learning company passionate about developing young people, Higher Ground believes that powerful learning takes place when people are facilitated through well-sequenced and purposefully designed experiences. There is a strong focus on the development of the individual through deeper understanding of their own potential with regular reflection and discussion. This year, Higher Ground is celebrating 10 years of delivering residential programs to an international school from Hong Kong. Over 200 students spend 4 weeks on the Sunshine Coast, living as a community, learning about the local environment, doing community service, and engaging in outdoor activities. North Brisbane Dirt Dogs. The North Brisbane Dirt Dogs recently completed construction of a 6-kilometre purpose-built mountain bike trail. This complemented the existing 20 kilometres of trail located at Sanford Conservation Park. Demonstrating industry best practice in consultation with the riding community, traditional owners and land managers, club volunteers applied for and received $35,000 of funding to build the new trail. Their focus is not on racing or competition, but trail advocacy and development. Wild Projects. Wild Projects aims to provide customised mentoring to Indigenous youth aged from 14 to 24 years. Through an integrated real-world and project-based program, students exit with appropriate skills to either continue their secondary education or enter the workplace with qualifications and practical experience under their belt. In addition, the students learn about their own strengths and how to face ongoing challenges. Core to the Wild approach and a real point of difference is the integration and focus on self-actualisation and personal development. Youth Flourish Outdoors. Youth Flourish Outdoors is a health promotion charity seeking to increase the quantity and quality of adventure as therapy for young people with complex symptoms and a history of adversity. Youth Flourish Outdoors delivers services to organisations and individuals and conducts training of adults in their therapeutic model. By engaging young people in outdoor adventure, Youth Flourish Outdoors assists them to be free of the problem and able to understand what being well, powerful and content can feel like. This evidence-based model is well regarded, with further research proving the model as best practice for youth mental health work.
And the winner of the Brisbane City Council Outstanding Achievement Award for an organisation is Youth Flourish Outdoors. G'day, Graham. I think you're still on mute there, Graham.
Yeah, it's a brand new computer, Mark. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Good, mate. Well, you worked it out. Good on you. So
Thank
worth hurrying back for tonight then. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. And can I thank at this stage our business-to-business partners who join us to create great activities for the young people to have adventures with. And also I'd like to thank our volunteers on the board in the business and who attend our programs. We just could not operate without having great volunteers sacrificing their time and having fun with us. Our staff, obviously, but also our staff's families who share their time after work to do training and to upskill and to solve problems and probably hear about the stories about what's going on, because the work is not always easy. But lastly, I'd like to thank and acknowledge the families who refer their young people to us. And these families come from a history of adversity. They're not to blame for the things that have happened to them. They're victims as much as anybody else in that situation, and they loan us their young people, and we work together to try and help those young people be the great people that we think that they can be, and it's good fun. But I really appreciate the faith that these families put in us and our staff to help them out. So thanks everybody. Thanks for the nomination.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Congratulations once again, and thank you for the work that you and your staff do.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, before we present the final award tonight, we thought you might like to see just how we're doing all this stuff here tonight, the back, behind the scenes look. So I'm just going to introduce you to our team out the back. Well, at the front, actually, it really is. So there's Lachlan on the left, and then Mike, and then Christy, and then Dom with the headphones on down to the right. So thank you, team. Excellent. So that's the nerve centre, or the nervous centre, as it was a wee while ago. Okay, now for the final presentation tonight. Nominees for the Queensland Government Outstanding Achievement Award for an individual have demonstrated professionalism and a high level of commitment to their outdoor community. The winners of this award set themselves apart from their peers through dedication to best practice and striving for the highest standards of delivery of outdoor recreation. Congratulations to all these finalists.
The Queensland Government Award for Outstanding Achievement Individual. Adrian Antonello. Adrian Antonello has been a part of the outdoor recreation community for over 21 years, both in the private and public sector, holding a variety of roles within the outdoor recreation industry. From instructor to venue manager, Adrian has developed great skills and knowledge in outdoor recreation. This experience, teamed with his friendly demeanour, professionalism and obvious passion for outdoor recreation, enables him to provide leadership in the areas of instructor-led activities, risk management, operations and strategic planning. Adrian played a leading role in the development of industry COVID-safe plans for outdoor organisations during 2020. Darren Osmond. Darren Osmond has worked in outdoor education and related fields since 1997. Since 2017, Darren has been the Director of Outdoor Education Program at Trinity Anglican School, Cairns, improving student engagement, participation and learning. Participation has also increased in the Duke of Edinburgh Award and World Challenge Expedition programs that he also manages. Currently Vice President of the OEAQ, Darren is a strong advocate for outdoor education in the far north Queensland region, and he is often sought out as a go-to person for information and assistance. David Reeve. David Reeve recently retired after 11 years as President of the Australian Climbing Association Queensland. The ACAQ has been a stalwart and pioneer of the Queensland climbing scene since the early 60s, with many notable first ascents bearing his name. David has an insatiable curiosity for the natural world and human connections, which made him the perfect person to lead the ACAQ, the peak body for recreational climbing in Queensland. Indeed, it could be said that the ACAQ of today is the result of David's vision, passion, ethics and tireless service. John Webb. John Webb, affectionately known as Johnny, is the outdoor educator at the Everton Park Childcare and Development Centre. Recognising the need children have for nature play and increased physical activity, Johnny has created an outdoor space for unstructured free play and exploration of the natural world. He is committed to a sustainable future for children and the environment, and this is taught to the children in an engaging and nurturing way. He has a calm nature and always has time for every child. Peter Effany. Peter Effany is a seasoned orienteer with a long record of contribution to the sport and is currently president of the Ugly Gully Orienteering Club in Brisbane's southwest. Of significance is Peter's invention of the smartphone app MapRun, which has grown quietly to a stage where it is now being adopted globally. He has further developed the app to a point where versions are now available for iPhone, Android and more recently Garmin watches too. Peter has therefore played a significant role in the growth of orienteering in Australia. Various spin-off activities, such as the Sunday afternoon Map Run Parks series, enable families to participate while maintaining social distancing.
So many worthy finalists. The winners of the Queensland Government Outstanding Achievement Award for an individual are Adrian Antonello and John Webb. Congratulations to you both. Adrian, congratulations. A few words from you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm honoured to be the recipient of this award and to plagiarise from a great Aussie, Daryl Kerrigan, this will be going straight to the pool room. I feel like well, let's say a few words, Mark. I'd just like to say that I feel pretty privileged to have had a career in outdoor recreation, and I'm very appreciative for the opportunity to work in the industry that allows me to positively influence people's lives and provide a service that no doubt will be very pertinent to our communities over the next few years. I'd also like to congratulate the other finalists for their outstanding achievements and also their contribution to our industry. And finally, there's a number of people that I would also, and organisations that I'd like to thank. Firstly, cheers to those who nominated and voted for me. And thank you to my senior management team for affording me the opportunity to contribute, particularly recently, to the development of the COVID safe plans. It's been obviously a very extremely difficult time, and it's really encouraging to see the outdoor rec sector sort of pulling together for the benefit of our industry. Also, thank you to my awesome work colleagues for your ongoing support and expertise. And a massive shout out to Outdoors Queensland for your continued support of our industry, and well done on hosting the first virtual Outdoor Queensland Awards, and thank you to the sponsors who also have supported this event. And finally, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Dom Courtney and acknowledge the exceptional work that he and his team have done in coordinating the Outdoor Rec Centre and providing expertise to develop the COVID safe plans. And I know Dom would just say he's doing his job, but it really is great to have someone who's so passionate about the outdoors advocating for our industry. So yeah, thanks again. Hey, really stoked.
Excellent. Thanks, Adrian, and well done, mate. And now, John or Johnny, would you like to say a few words? There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to obviously thank Core for putting on the awards, especially seeing as you couldn't do it as normal. It must have been tricky to get it all sorted. It's been a pretty strange year for everyone, I'm sure, and I think it's been a year that's been really, even more important to get children outside and engaging with nature. So it's been a weird year, but a good year, and I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I'm able to do with the children without my colleagues at work. So thank you to everyone, and congratulations to all the finalists.
Excellent. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Okay, so that's it for the award presentations. 9 awards, 10 winners this evening. So congratulations to you all. And let us also congratulate all the finalists and all the nominees. There are over 45 nominees this year. And also our congratulations and thanks to those people who believed and who took the time to put in a nomination. Without you folk doing that hard work, this night wouldn't have happened. So that's it. Not quite finished yet. Dom Courtney, our Executive Officer from Outdoors Queensland, would like to say a few words. So, Dom.
Thanks, Mark. I was just pausing for the round of applause, but it didn't quite happen tonight. But it's been some virtual applause out there. And I'd really like to thank everyone for joining us this evening as our Outdoors Queensland Awards has moved into this virtual world. For this awards presentation, we've gathered on various lands across Queensland and across Australia. We may have even had people join us from overseas. And I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations people of all of those lands on which we've gathered, particularly the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. The studio where we've gathered tonight is on the land of the Turrbal and Jagera language people. Outdoors Queensland acknowledges all the elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledges the important roles that they continue to have in relation to connection to land, waters and sky where outdoor activities take place. I'd like to say a big thank you to Lachlan and Mike from Element Photo and Video Productions for the work behind the scenes to make this evening's show possible. If you need assistance from people who can find magic ways to make photo and video productions look effortless, please give them a call. They've done some wonderful things here tonight, which I'm glad you didn't all see, but I think we've kept the show on the road beautifully. So thank you to Lachlan and Mike from Element. A huge thank you to Mark Squires, our Partnerships Manager and wonderful MC this evening. Mark's job title is Partnerships Manager, and it doesn't quite describe all that he does for the organisation, but it exactly describes how he does it. Mark works in partnership with everyone that he comes into contact with, and I'd like to say thank you to Mark for that effort. We're very pleased to have Active Queenslanders Industry Alliance as a sponsor of the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards. AQIA is the peak body for workforce development for our industry and works with us to help sustain and grow Queensland's active recreation sector. Thank you to Phil Reeves and the AQIA team for their work. I want to acknowledge the other sponsors whose support make the Outdoors Queensland Awards possible, particularly from the Queensland Government, Brisbane City Council and K2 Base Camp. Thank you very much to Eleanor for sharing her story with us this evening. Eleanor's quote that stands out for me from her website is, "An ordinary person who chooses to is capable of extraordinary things." Eleanor has certainly done extraordinary things, which fits so well with our awards. So the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards are almost over, and 2021 is fast approaching. The social research firm McCrindle recently advised that in a nationwide survey, 88% of Australians said that they are excited to close the door on 2020 and start 2021. That was 88%. I'm not sure what the other 12% said. But I think we need to consider what we want the future to be and think about how we can each contribute to it. We keep hearing people talking about getting back to normal, but I'd like to suggest that it's time to switch that conversation to getting to better. Our award finalists and our winners have contributed to making things better for our communities. The judging process gets harder every year. I'm really pleased that I'm not a judge, so I don't have to make those difficult calls. But each year I'm an interested observer in the judging process, and I've got to thank the judging panel, the Outdoors Queensland Board, who volunteer their time to provide the organisation with oversight and guidance, in addition to taking on the job of the judging of the awards. I also want to take a moment to thank everyone who's provided me with support throughout the year. The staff of Outdoors Queensland are really amazing people who regularly do more than is reasonable to expect. Some of that work might be mundane and sometimes boring stuff, but if it wasn't done, then the organisation would not be here doing what it does to make the outdoor sector better. I really found it intriguing this year when so many things have spiralled out of control and things were topsy-turvy. We still had nominations. I think Mark said 45 nominations, highlighting the tremendous work of so many people across Queensland's outdoor sector. All of those efforts collectively can make for a better normal, but I really want to invite you to consider a truly better normal in 5 or 10 years' time, when standards have increased so far that the work that's been done by our 2020 winners, people like Adrian Spanner Antonello, Kellyanne Drury and John Webb, and organisations like Nature Freedom, Youth Flourish Outdoors, Birdwings Forest School, Brisbane City Council, AAA Racing and Coaching, Gympie Regional Council and Wildlings Forest School. A future where the exceptional efforts of today is the normal, and that's the expected level of service from all providers of outdoor activities, event organisers and providers of outdoor places and spaces. No doubt some of this evening's finalists will still be setting the standard, but imagine if all of you were operating at even higher levels. Wouldn't that be a terrific world? And imagine the community that we would have. So each of the 2020 nominees, finalists and winners of these Outdoors Queensland Awards is already creating and contributing to a better normal. You inspire change in your environment and you can lift the standards of those around you. Whether that happens through collaboration or through competition doesn't really matter. But collaboration through organisations like Outdoors Queensland is an awesome way to contribute to a better normal for our communities. Thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for all of the hard work you've contributed. Just as importantly, thank you for all of the fun that you've had along the way, and thank you for inspiring so many people to live life outdoors.
Right, thank you, Dom. And I've got to say that the future that Dom described is one that I would choose to work towards. And I would like to think that you will all choose to work towards that same future. Now, all the winners from tonight will be listed on Facebook, our Facebook page, and on the Outdoors Queensland website. And all the finalist videos will be on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to send us your photos and videos. You can either send them to me directly, to industry@quorf.org.au, or you can upload them to Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag Outdoors Queensland Awards. And enjoy the rest of your night. We're 7:33. We're a little ahead of time tonight, which is fantastic. Thank you all for coming along, whether it's watching on Facebook or with us on Zoom, and for sharing this very special and ever so slightly unusual Outdoors Queensland Awards. We'll see you again in 2021, whether we do it again online or whether we're back in a hotel somewhere, or maybe some kind of combo kind of production. We're live and online at the same time. Whatever it is, we'll see you then, 2021. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being a part of the 2020 Outdoors Queensland Awards.
Congratulations to all the winners, all the finalists, and everybody who entered the awards this year. We thank you for being a part of the great Outdoors Queensland industry.